Today we're moving quickly into the sixth primary trait fundamental to sales success: compassion. It's a trait that can make all the difference in your sales career and your personal life. But before we begin, let me ask you something. Do you want your salespeople to be nurturers, servers, and companions to your customers? Or do you prefer the traditional terms of hunters or farmers? Perhaps you've encountered someone in your life with an exceptional level of compassion, someone who goes above and beyond to care for others. I have at hospitals, nursing homes, and in the highest levels of the hospitality industry. Last Christmas, I had a heartwarming experience with a cavapoo, one of the friendliest and cuddling creatures I've ever known. It was easy to see why they're often called lap dogs. They are just natural nurturers and companions. Now maybe you live with someone who naturally seems to radiate compassion. Or perhaps you are that person who genuinely listens and nurtures the needs of those around you. Today we're studying a person's need to nurture or their level of compassion as defined by the CTS sales profile, a validated sales assessment tool used by hundreds and thousands of small and large businesses for assessing candidates applying for sales positions. Compassion is a trait that measures a salesperson's concern for the well-being of customers and coworkers, their willingness to help and serve, and their ability to connect on a personal level. It's easy to see why showing compassion is a key factor in sales success, as it directly affects how customers perceive and interact with salespeople. Research has shown that individuals with high levels of compassion have brains wired for empathy. They are naturally inclined to help others, are agreeable, and derive pleasure from fulfilling others' expectations. These compassionate individuals often excel in industries focused on personal relationships, such as hospitality and financial services, and with various retail services. That's because their persuasiveness comes from a genuine interest in their customers' emotional reasons for their purchases. In contrast, low scores on the compassion scale are more focused on tasks and may excel in transactional markets like manufacturing or logistics. They tend to see customers as checkboxes on a list, and they may miss their felt needs, deeper desires, and the wants that drive their purchases. Let me illustrate the importance of compassion in sales with two stories. John, a sales rep in logistics, approaches his calls as tasks to complete. During a call with a customer going through a tough time, John doesn't take the time to listen or show empathy. He moves straight to the sales pitch, and the call ends without a sale. Jane, a sales representative in healthcare, genuinely cares about helping others. When she speaks with a customer facing health problems, she listens to their concerns and offers both information and emotional support. The customers in this market area appreciate Jane's apparent concern for how they feel, and many decide for her to serve them. There can be a stark difference between a transactional approach and a compassionate one. Jane's ability to connect on a personal level builds trust and loyalty, making her more than just a salesperson in the eyes of her customers. While being compassionate is an important trait in fast-moving sales cycles, it's important to also recruit people with ego drive and motivation to achieve sales goals. The right mix will depend on your sales process, target customers, and the levels of appointments and sales expected from top salespeople. Okay, before we wrap up, I want to leave you with something to think about. As compassion and empathy levels drop, we risk coming across as arrogant or self-centered, solely focused on money and sales. I've personally witnessed a friend with lower compassion levels hurting his family relationships. But there is a solution, and it's in what you value and believe and how you see yourself. Despite how well you listen and nurture others, decide to be a person of service, working hard to solve problems for others. Act interested, even when it's challenging. In the words of Konstantin Stanislavski, the greatest acting coach, do not try to feel what your character would feel. Just act as they would act. And as Dale Carnegie famously once said, acting with an attitude of care, despite what natural level of compassion we have, can help us win friends and influence people. Now, compassion is a powerful trait in sales and in life, one that can transform transactions into meaningful connections. Remember, it's not always just about what you say. It's about how your reps make their prospects and customers feel. Join us next week as we explore the 7th of our 9 primary traits when recruiting the very best salespeople: self-promotion, or the need to impress, and its impact on life and sales goal achievement. Until then, remember how important some level of compassion is when recruiting and coaching reps and when attending to the most important people in your lives. Thank you for joining us, and I'll see you next time on CTS Sales Profile Solutions.